You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
It feels so good. I'm like, I really look forward to it each week, because we're in quarantine. I'm like, okay, when can I dress up and put some makeup on?
Yeah, right. It's just so different, but I'm really adapting to the changes right now. We got so much to talk about. We got a coronavirus update. We're talking about the entertainment industry's fund to support other entertainers, the telecommuting and mental health, and we're all doing this with Benjamin Patterson, Greenleaf star, actor, fitness phenom, and DJ. So we'll have him on in a bit. But I wanted to talk to you, Fallon, just about how you're coping and dealing week to week with this.
What's been helping me, and I think I kind of explained to you, I do health coaching from home. I do nutrition counseling, advice for like workouts. But I've also been kind of coaching my clients to really give them a schedule. I think having a schedule is really important. I think when you drift away from your day-to-day schedule, that's when you start going stir crazy. That's when you start eating and gaining weight. So I think for me and my clients, we've been kind of sticking up to a schedule, when to go to sleep, when to wake up, even when to eat your food, when to work out. And I think that's how I've been coping.
Yeah, there was a moment for me where not having a schedule was really good, and then it got to go, wait a minute, I need something to define my day, to remember what day it is,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where I've been. Fit Club's helped because now we have this every Tuesday. So let us get Benjamin on, because we got so much to talk about. I think we got Benjamin coming through, but we're going to give an update on the coronavirus. Of course, these updates are never great to give, but it's important that we do talk about them. I think, hey, what's up, Mr. Patterson? How you doing?
Ben.
Welcome to the Fit Club. Do we have your audio going?
Yes, I do. How you doing?
Good. Glad to have you again.
Thank you.
I think the first time we had you on, the very first time, you sang for us, and now you have the piano in the background. So hopefully you can play a little for us, maybe.
That is a strong possibility.
There are more options via Zoom.
Yes. Zoom is that thing. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you coping with this whole, shut down, the quarantine? Obviously, you have your piano, I see some fitness equipment back there, but
actually we just got well, to answer your question, we're handling it well. Doing a lot of cleaning. Like, you have no idea how much you can clean when you clean after you've cleaned
all the time.
It's amazing, but it does occupy a lot of time, and it does cut down on arguing about stupid stuff, and it also allows for some personal space. So it's been good.
And you have a child, but how are you dealing with the school closure and having the kid 24/7?
So that is a definite thing. It's good. It does give us a lot of time with Zach. He's 4, so he's not in actual like Monday through Friday 8 to 5, not 8 to 5, like full on school. But he does have Zoom like this. He does this with his school 3 days a week actually, and he also still does his piano class via Zoom in here 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. So he's doing fine. We find that getting him on his Spanish still, on his numbers and counting and his letters and words, he's doing a lot of stuff. So the time passes in the day, and by 7:45, 8 o'clock, he is kind of wore out. So he'll go to sleep. Then it becomes like time to just do normal stuff during the evenings.
Small blessings, I guess. Small blessings.
Yeah, you just got it. That's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah. Well, we got to give an update on the coronavirus. Of course, an unfortunate update, but nonetheless needed. 600,000 cases so far, with over 24,000 that have died in the United States. But we're looking at over almost 2 million worldwide, with over 119,000 deaths worldwide. So we know it's a big, important issue. We don't want to get complacent about it. We don't want to say, okay, we feel like we can now go out. Right now in the state of California, it's been extended. Our shutdown it goes to May 3rd. Los Angeles County has extended it to May 15th. But Gavin Newsom recently came out and said they are looking for a way to reopen the economy, and have gotten the pieces in place to look at different factors to do that. But currently, our social distancing is working. We're bending the curve, so we're really flattening that curve. And I wanted to know, I guess, for you, Ben, with the social distancing and especially being an entertainer, how's that affected you? And when do you feel like, have you had enough, or do you feel just on the ground, we got to stick to this for the long haul, or do you feel there's sort of an intuitive sense that this should be ending anytime soon?
That's a couple of questions. So I'll give you a couple of answers. I feel like as far as the first part of it is, being in the entertainment industry, what I feel is I do understand the severity of any time something affects people's health. It's like chickenpox, or it's like lice, or it's any of these things that it's like, okay, a mass of people can get uh, infected by this or be affected by this. But the other side of that coin is there has to be things that get lives and livelihood back on track and back in the swing of how things are running on a global scale. So I do feel like, in the next few weeks, things that are being done now, the positive effects of those will be shown. And I feel like a lot of things like, traffic, air quality, a lot of these different things that have been positively affected about that by this should also be kind of highlighted. But also people need to realize, like, you can get back to work and you can get back to supporting businesses and livelihoods in a safe way by exercising, by meditating, by eating healthy. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that your immune system can handle. The deaths, unfortunately, that I've experienced, nobody I know firsthand has passed away, unfortunately. I have a friend who posted that their mother passed away, who was in her early 80s. But aside from that, I've had a few friends that have been on Facebook, like, hey, I've third day of being positive with COVID-19, and I'm okay, and this and that. Don't worry about me. So there are people that are living and doing stuff. I feel like if the masses understand that they don't have to be terrified to go outside, you can still do stuff, you know what I mean? And things can gradually be integrated back in, so that as things decline, people's logic is still here and their fear level is down here now. They're not like afraid to see, oh, there's my neighbor, let me go over and say hi. And they're like,
Yeah, I think when things do open back up, the fear is going to be the toughest part to get over. It's just wanting to, whether it's not, I don't know if we'll ever get back to shaking each other's hands, but even just going out and meeting people,
we
I think people are going
will.
to be scared.
If I see you, I'm shaking your hand.
Well, Dr. Fauci is saying that maybe that's a practice that we shouldn't get back to, that spreads the germ so much. So people are saying maybe that might be something that goes, just got the pound or the elbow.
Or the wave.
Yeah. Are you, Fallon, seeing any difference in how people are reacting to early quarantine and now?
Definitely people are wearing more masks. I know when I was going to the grocery store a month ago, you really didn't see people with masks on. Now everybody has a mask. Everybody's wearing gloves. And even in some of the stores, there's tape on the ground. So when you're waiting in line, you're 6 feet apart from the
No,
person.
that's just not California. Okay.
So, and it was funny because I was getting some fruit. I think I was like touching the avocados, and the lady was staring at me, and I'm looking at her like, what's your deal? And then I realized I wasn't 6 feet apart from her.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Yeah. Well,
sorry.
hey.
I'm just trying to get a good avocado.
It's serious out here. It's serious out here.
Yeah. But one thing I do like, I was in my house and I heard all this beeping, beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, what is going on? Because the neighborhood is fairly quiet. And I look outside and I see like 20 cars going up and down my cul-de-sac, and they all have signs on the cars. And each car was a different teacher, and it was saying like, Mrs. Jackson loves you. And all the kids in the neighborhood were
Oh, wow.
waving. And I was like, wow, the teachers really do love their kids. Like they miss them and they had a little parade for them in their cars, you
Yeah.
know, so they were safe, but I thought that was really sweet.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I
That's
love hearing those positive stories that are kind of coming out of this time. One of those stories is the entertainment industry. The Entertainment Industry Foundation has now set up a COVID-19 support fund for those actors and entertainers, who have found themselves suddenly out of work. And, it's nice to see that they're taking care of their own. But, for you, Ben, when these things happen, work is shut down, how do you cope with your own creativity, wanting to release that? Have you? I know you have DJ sets you've been doing. How have you found a way to release that creative muscle?
a couple of ways. You mentioned one is DJing, because that's actually the first thing I started doing before anything else. I started that in 7th grade,
Wow.
and it's 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 therapeutic to play the piano or the guitar or the bass or just to get in here and play music. So I find it as a release, I find it very easy to just come in here and like knock some out, give myself some time. But also to exercise, I like to listen to great music, and I just put my own music on, or I put my own DJ sets on or whatever, and listen to it. So it helps me stay kind of like emotionally calm,
Mhm.
because I my mind tends to think in very on-off terms, like people say isolation, and I think, okay, well, we're not isolated. People on the cruise ships were isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in jail are isolated, but there's a certain level of like, okay, it's not that bad, that I feel for myself when I go, okay, I can still walk out and go down the street, and I can go walk to the store, or I can.
You could Zoom us and do a podcast.
Yeah.
We did a Zoom with some high school friends, and it was hilarious because it was like all 9 of us on there were acting like it was still junior or senior year. So there's a lot of things that I feel like I do that helps me, and then I do a little bit of reading. I've never been that much of a book reader, but I do a little bit of reading. I've caught up on a bunch of Netflix shows, and I even got out my old Super Nintendo, and I played like all my classic Nintendo games. So there's a lot of things that I'm like, okay, once I exhaust those all, I still do have, like, I've been working on new music, so I still have, outlets that will, for my own sanity, will never just end. I mean, there's always going to be new music for me to play.
I have a question for you. So you say that you like to put your own music on when you work out. I guess what's your go-to song? Are you more like, like old school hip hop, R&B? What kind of music do you listen to that gets you pumped up for a workout?
I will say both of those first two genres are my go-to. Um, and there's a few songs that are in there that I know that if I heard it, like if I heard "Let's Get It Started" or "Pump It Up" by MC
Mhm.
Hammer,
Yeah.
I'll do that extra 5 or 6 reps. But if I'm doing, and then also I just got, and I have the thing here. I just got the new, as a
Oh,
gift,
Prince.
20-year anniversary gift. My husband gave me the new 1999, which was released with 60 songs, and
So
I've listened to songs that I've never even heard before that are just like dope.
Well, what we're doing now is we're asking our guest what is their quarantine five? What's their top 5 playlist songs?
Ooh.
So we might as well we'll find out right now.
Yeah, let's find that out.
we got MC Hammer, one
You
of
got,
them.
you
Yeah.
got, let's go artists, because there's too many songs. So let's go artists.
Okay.
Definitely Hammer. Definitely Prince.
Mhm.
Um, I've been doing a fair amount of Metallica, and God, Jodeci's first album. Like, it's such a wide, like,
What a
Yeah.
and then
what, some opera in there too? Or
well, no, but yes, because Carmen is always that's a good one too. But then I've been doing a lot of house, so I've been doing a lot of Defected in the house, and there's a lot of artists that come under that umbrella.
Mhm.
But anything on the Defected label, like their picks are, their vocalists, tracks are so dope, and then even like the deep house stuff is just really dope. So my 5: Hammer, Prince, Metallica, Jodeci, first album, definitely.
Yeah.
And then Stevie Wonder. I'll put them on a whole different. We'll talk about that.
That's a good top 5. I could be in quarantine for a long time. That's a good top 5.
Maybe you should go live DJing, and we'll work out to your live.
You know, I can.
That's what he does.
I can
Oh,
do
that's
that.
what you do. Okay, I need to get on it.
Yeah, and I'll message you, because the last one I want to say that last Sunday that I did was actually pretty good, and because we were on a walk before that, and I was like, I gotta get back at 3. And so I was sweating, so I just threw on a tank top and I started DJing, and I didn't think like, oh, he's in a tank top, and
Well, it might also be the promo for the DJ set also showed off a little bit of the fitness. And I think hopefully the viewers are seeing that right now. But
hey, that's
everything helps.
Everything helps. It really does. But yeah, I can do some serious cardio to some good music.
So do you have a set time? You said 3 o'clock LA time?
I did 3:30 a couple of weeks in a row, a couple of Wednesdays in a row, and then I did a Sunday. And so I'm thinking like the only challenge is D Nice, who's DJ. Rapper. He's got an amazing following, and I watched it go from 280,000 followers to 500,000 to 1 million.
I was on. Yeah.
Like it's like I think it was like 2 or 3 days it happened, and then all of a sudden like Oprah interviewed him and this and I watched it, and I'm like, they're dope sets. Like I listened to it, but I'm like, I don't want to be on at the same time.
Yeah.
But then at the same, while being said, I can't control when people go on, and I think he's out of LA too, because daytime on my sets, I'm like, oh, it's wherever he's at. So, but yes, I go on. I'll try to generally go on in the middle of the day, because I know I can get a good hour and a half, 2 hours I can go 3 hours straight. Like the very first weekend that I got this set up, I was just like, let me see how many back-to-back house songs I can do. No headphones, no set list, just like playing what I know.
Out.
3 hours nonstop.
Wow. Wait, so the next one's gonna be what next week? This week, Wednesday. Tomorrow.
Well,
nice.
All right, mark in my calendar. I'm gonna put it in.
Sometimes I'll do I might do like a hip hop like battle, beat juggling set or something like that, just to like play around with. And then, but I'll send out a notice.
Okay,
nice.
Cool.
Like, hey, let me know when you're gonna do it again. So that's cool.
And I think what you're doing is helping with a lot of people in their mental health. And our next story comes out of there. Keio University in Tokyo did a study of about 9,000 people, 20 to 64 years of age. And 35% of the people in this study reported that their mental well-being went down as a result of telecommuting. And 50% said it was about the same, and 40% said it improved. But what people attributed to this was not having a work-life balance, because all of a sudden work and the personal are together.
Right. 2,
not being able to exercise. And 3 was having poor communication with their coworkers as a result of whether it's Zoom or however they're collaborating. But I thought, number 2, exercise, that's a big one. So definitely want to know what you're doing. You're already still in shape. How do you maintain that shape with, the fridge 10 feet away?
And I will say, I know a lot of parents struggle with eating, because, you're feeding your son and he's probably eating chicken nuggets and snacks. And how do you maintain that? Like not eating everything that he's eating?
Well, one of the interesting things that my husband and I both said about this whole situation is that parts of our lives haven't really changed, because if I'm not working on a project, then I'm working from home, with the difference of going out to the gym and then coming home and doing this and doing that. So the way we've kind of managed to stay in shape and stay working on that kind of a thing is that, there's lunchtime is generally between 12 and 1:30ish, depending on what's going on, who's doing a Zoom call, who's not. And we'll make sure that, it's like, okay, he's, like the little chicken nuggets, those little dinosaur nuggets that you get from Trader Joe's. Like, I'll make a sandwich, or I'll have leftovers from the night before, and I generally cook pretty healthy. And then some of those days for lunch, he'll have leftovers. Like he'll have spaghetti. He likes, curry chicken. He likes Thai. He likes whatever.
Oh.
So we'll make it a point to just give him stuff that we know that if we just decide to eat, we're good. And then as far as working out goes, it's like there's a lot of, like, I still do yoga. So a friend of mine, Jason, who has a phenomenal yoga mat company called Afromat. Sometimes you'll see me with a shirt that says "I'm enough." And I have my mat right over there. I'll do a shout out in a minute. I do yoga, and I have a 30-pound medicine ball right there that my dad bought and had me carry through the mall in Glendale. And then we just got some exercise bands. So there's a lot of like body weight related working out that we do.
So you don't have like a crazy home gym. You just got a couple of pieces that you're utilizing, I guess, effectively.
Yeah, because I've never been like, I've always been like I think I met you at
the gym.
Yeah, at the gym. And so I've always been very social. So I could never see like, okay, let me go get this, home gym set up and then just never use it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, everyone that, had got one back in the day now can break it out and knock the dust off of it. But I still get a good, hour walk in every night, because we got to fill up that time between 5:30 and bedtime. We got to do something. And now because the weather's nicer, we can get back in the water, and I will be teaching Zach how to swim.
Oh, nice. And you've been able to kind of separate the personal from the work. You don't feel like it's all meshed in.
Yes. It does blur a lot, but when I really can separate is when I'm playing guitar, like excruciatingly loud. Like that's like, it's nothing else going on except that. When I'm creating music, it's really that's part of it for me, that now it's like there's nothing that goes on other than that. The door doesn't open. No one's coming in here. It's loud. Or if I'm doing, whatever, playing bass.
Nice. And when you weren't filming Greenleaf when the shutdown happened, so you didn't have to like stop production, or did you?
No. We had already finished, and I was actually just in Atlanta in January. And when we got back, we were actually supposed to go to Mammoth in March, and that's when it kind of just started ramping up. So it was like that second week in February, when people were kind of like saying like, oh, I heard about this, heard about that. And then actually a friend of mine that was in Atlanta, that is in Atlanta, actually was diagnosed with having it, and he's fine.
It's funny you say that, because I'm in Atlanta right now, and my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law both got it. Luckily they had a mild case, so they're at home recovering, they're okay. But it seemed to have, it's a lot of people here in Atlanta that I know have gotten it.
A couple friends.
It's crazy. I don't know anyone in California, but I guess it's really worked. I guess the social distancing, because I haven't really met anyone that has it or has had it prior to.
Do you know Kevin Peak? Kevin posted on his site. Kevin had it.
Oh.
It's fine. Yeah, because he has that place. Is it called Next
Health?
Yeah, Next Health.
Yeah. Well, I guess I do know someone that has.
But I mean, like, because I didn't know it, and then I saw him post a follow-up video saying, "Oh, just letting everybody know I'm fine. Like, I tested positive, but I'm just home. I'm resting, relaxing. I'm good." And
we have to reach out to him, because he owns Next Health, and before this, as this thing was happening, I was actually using the hyperbaric chamber and the infrared light bed to make sure I kept my immune system up. So so hopefully he can kind of give us some words about how to get over it.
Well, I'm pretty sure he'd be up to talking to you.
Yeah. And so I want to find out now, when you guys, so you filmed Greenleaf, are there parts of this season that take place now, and are there challenges to storyline because people are now inside?
Good question. Are there things that will conflict? I don't think so. No, I don't think because of what's happening. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I think the right way to answer this is because it's still a story. I don't think incorporating everything that's in the current state needs to translate to a story for it to still remain relevant. I
Yeah.
think because I don't even know if anything that's even out right now, nothing that's out right now had this.
Yeah, no, they don't. Because I was wondering for myself, because a lot of times you'll watch something in October and then the Halloween special is then, but obviously no one's going to be socially distancing in scenes that were filmed prior to, but it might
Right.
be
No.
early March in the scene.
Yeah, and then when we last spoke, when we started shooting season 4, we shot 18 episodes.
Okay.
Wow.
So they showed the first 9,
10.
I think. 10.
10, yeah.
Right. So this next installment is from what we shot.
Yeah, which is really exciting for the fans. So we're getting it in June, finally announced that we get the second half of the season in June. Everybody was on edge.
Yeah, I got a bunch of messages. They're like, I hope you made it. Let us ride. I'm like, God.
I mean, and last we left off, I think your son in the show, AJ, had an important decision about whether or not to turn himself in. um, how do you feel, I guess, about the story arc and what is coming next for the fans in June?
Wow, I'm actually really excited about the story arc because it's giving life to a story that everybody has been asking about and everybody has not been um they haven't been given it. I mean, it's like you got Grace season 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you get all this emotion and all this story and all these peaks and valleys, and then you got Charity, and you got just wow, right? And then you get
Yeah.
Bishop and you get Lady May, and this is, I think, the one story that it was at the forefront, and then it was kind of pulled back a little bit, and then it was just given a little tease.
Mhm.
And now people are like, okay, what is happening with Noah?
Yeah.
What is happening with Noah and Grace? What's happening with their son?
Yeah.
And I feel like people are like, they're ready for it.
Mhm.
And I mean, I feel like it's a great show in general, but I feel like this story is the part that's going to actually propel the story or propel the show even further, being that it's the one story that they haven't been given enough of the actual details, and now it's like stuff is starting to come out about it.
So being an actor on the show, do they feed you? Like, do you know storylines ahead of time, or are you just as surprised as us? Like,
Uh,
as you're filming, they give you the next storyline. So, like, did you know that you had this son out there, and did you know what was going to happen with him?
Pretty much, you pretty much nailed it. I find out generally when I get the script. So when they
Wow.
emailed me and said, "Hey, you're coming back," blah blah blah, I didn't really know what I was coming back to, and then I get the script, and I'm reading, 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 reading. If you remember the first episode, I'm just in that last scene,
Hmm.
so I'm reading, and I'm like, "Okay, well, where am I?" And I can, you can do word search and say Noah, and then it goes to that page. I'm like, "Oh, that's where I'm at." So then the next episode and the episodes that follow, they would basically give me one script at a time. I never got like the entire thing. And I think part of that is because they're actually writing them. They don't have
Hmm.
a full on fleshed out idea of the entire season. I think they kind of go and they probably just brainstorm or whatever. But when they do come up with it, then we get it at the very end before we actually put life to it.
Got it.
Yes, see what makes sense for the character.
You're right.
Um, Now, what we've experienced, I would say now, there was a huge resistance amongst, I would say, churchgoers and religious communities to the social distancing when it came to Corona. And we know some preachers went ahead and said, hey, I believe in God. We're going to do this anyways. Do you
Mhm.
think that will be addressed on the next season as they address the realities of what's happening?
Now when you ask that, do you mean in the context of the actual story, or are you saying like, maybe Owen will have a litl disclaimer saying, hey,
Oh, no, no, I mean in the next season that you guys have yet to film, like in,
oh, yet to
yeah.
film. That's a really good question. Wow. Um, I don't know. I don't know. And the reason I say it is because it's hard for me to wrap my brain around something that I can't really see happening.
Mhm.
And by that I mean, like, I can't see people not coming together ever again. So I
Yeah.
feel like, even like, let's say they say, hey, there's going to be another season, we're going to go back in, da da da. I don't know how they're going to. I don't know how they would do it, but I feel like if they were going to, maybe they would figure out a way to do something like this, and then gradually have smaller groups of people getting together, and maybe, people are walking in, they're genuflecting, they're doing a little hand sanitizer, whatever. But I don't know. You know what I mean? It's complex.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how the stories we tell will change due to
Mhm.
what's happening now.
Right. Right.
So we got a little something called the Fit Club 5 we like to do with our
Uh-oh.
guests. So we're going to ask you, huh?
I said 5
The
push.
5 push-ups.
5 push-ups. That should be the Fit Club 5 now that we got the Zoom thing going. And so we're going to ask you 5 rapid fire questions, and just give the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
there we go. Yeah. First question. Last person you texted.
No, the last person I texted was, I messaged the guy that has that studio with the car.
No, I was gonna say that was a DM, and I can never remember how I communicate with people anymore. I don't know if it's a DM, a text, or an
Right.
email.
Let me just let's see who the last person I text was. It was my brother and a high school friend of his that lives in London. We text each other E40 lyrics. We'll send a bunch of pictures, and you have to guess what song, and you have to reply with, like, it'll be like it'll be like some Remy Martin or something, and then a car, and then some meat, and this and that, and you have to figure out. And it's usually from
Ooh,
In a Major Way, or Mailman, or the Hall of Game. So it's like one of those 3 albums. So we text each other, and he was literally just riding up the street on a bike in London, and he was singing, side. I had to, like, hit him back.
That's
so
funny.
number 6 on the quarantine playlist,
Yes.
E40.
Oh, E40.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Your dream dinner guest.
My dream. Say it again.
Dream dinner guest.
Dream dinner guest. Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd have to be Prince.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
It'd
You
have to
had
be.
that. You held it up.
Prince. It'd have to be. There's so much. That's a whole nother show.
What'd you eat for your last meal?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and my last meal was lunch, right? Yeah, and then this juice: apple, coconut, pineapple, lemon, ginger, cayenne.
Okay. Healthy. What's your favorite junk food?
Oof. uh, Probably In-N-Out.
So you're having the withdrawals now.
I actually haven't been, but I haven't wanted to go yet.
Yeah.
But I know
The line is probably crazy, because
Yeah,
it was
they're-
crazy before, and now
Yeah.
it's probably like on another level.
and I don't do the 3 and 4 hour wait for any food.
Yeah. No, not happening. And then the last question
When you
is,
got there, you're gonna order like 900 things and be like, "Why'd I get?"
because I'm now starving, right? And the last question, if you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
Death Row Records? No, I'm kidding. Oh my God, if I was on death row, yikes! What my last? Phil's Barbecue out of San Diego,
Oh,
and I would just eat until I passed out. I wouldn't like one. I would just eat and be like, "Look, I'm gonna die after this, so keep them coming."
nice.
Awful thought.
Nice. And then, so lastly, what's the music? So are you coming out with new music? You said you're writing a lot, you're creating a lot.
Yes, actually. So, and what I've been doing on between Facebook and Instagram and Twitter now too, because they're all connected, is I've been posting like little clues here and there. And what I've got is I got a new album that's pretty much done. I'm like in the stages of like mixing and just listening to stuff, not creating. for this project, and releasing it under my name instead of Sapphire Sky, which is what the first 2 projects that are on iTunes are under. So if you go to iTunes or Apple Music or however you get music, any platform, you look up Sapphire Sky, you'll find my music. But there's like a bunch of songs that will come up that are called Sapphire Sky or that have those 2 words in them. So I was like, well, it's easier just to do it under my name. So the current project, 26 Letters, is going to be under my name, and then that's where all the other music will now fall.
Okay. And what can we expect?
Oh man, some good funk. And my first like fast rock song. Like I've got some slower rock songs that are like they're pretty good and pretty substantial and fun to play. But now I've written, this is like maybe 2 weeks ago, my first like fast rock song, like my classic.
It's crazy because you're so musical, and Greenleaf has got so much music on it. I think we were talking earlier about this with Fallon.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get you in the choir? Get you to, you're gonna save grace by singing a song in the church?
Serenader.
I won't spoil anything. But I feel like Noah's character hasn't really opened that door yet. But there is the absolute possibility, if there's another season past this one, to do, or when we go, I said when we go back, to go and submit music to be placed in the show. So then there's that avenue as well.
And because you got Merle and Keith David, you guys should maybe do like Greenleaf on Broadway.
That would be so much fun to watch.
Right?
I'd definitely tune into that.
I mean, the talent's there.
Yeah.
The vocalists are there. The characters are there. I mean,
you've heard it here first. As soon as this whole social distancing is over, we expect Greenleaf on Broadway.
Broadway.
We want to thank you so much, Ben, for joining us. This has been awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much. Keep staying fit. Keep working out.
Yeah.
And congratulations. You mentioned earlier 20 years of marriage. That's like, that's impressive, especially in Hollywood. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is my wedding ring, and this is my 10-year ring, and this is our wedding. But yeah, 5 years married this year in June, and then 20 years together.
Wow.
In this past February, so we did do our 20 years. And I was like, didn't seem like that long, and then I'm like, no, that's long.
And right before the shutdown, Greenleaf won the Outstanding Series at NAACP Awards.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So congrats on that as well.
I was up there. Thank you. I was there, and then like literally like what was it, 2 weeks later? It's like
stay home.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Fallon, where can they find?
I'll be DJing, so
yes.
The little setup is right. I'm on my desktop, so you can barely see, but my Serato is right there next to the speakers. But yeah, I'll post up some more notices, and then I'll do a live. I might even do one today, just because it's the nice weather.
Why not? Let's get it done.
That's what's going to happen.
Fallon, where can they find you online?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Facebook at Fit with Fallon. And yeah, I'll be doing Fit Club every Tuesday during quarantine.
Mr. Patterson, where can they find you online?
You can find me at Benjamin Patterson all day on Instagram and Twitter. Ben Just Creates, and Facebook. All my pages are under Benjamin Patterson.
And as always, guys, you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at SHAKA Strong. See you next week.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.